So, after reading your No Regrets, A Journey Through Long Life, noticed that um, before I start, I want to say congratulations for
Thank,
even finishing your book,
thank you very
you
much.
know, for even deciding to want to go this far in your journey. I noticed that you lived such a layered life, through family and personal challenges. What made you decide that this time I should release this book? Well, this was the perfect time for that.
Like I said, I'm going to touch 60 next month. So I
Hmm.
thought this is the appropriate time to leave something behind for the society
Yeah.
who can
Okay.
benefit by reading the book. I'm told I got the feedback that there's a lot of inspiration and stories of resilience and motivation involved in reading the book. People are inspired. So, which is my humble contribution to the society. This book will benefit the law students and the upcoming lawyers
Okay.
because what they study in law school is just theory.
Hmm.
To practice as an attorney, you have to join a law firm and gain experience.
Yeah, I noticed that from the book that it's different from, it seemed like it's different from actually being in the courtroom versus learning the actual logic behind it. You learn the pen and paper behind it, but it seems like the experience is what you really learn. And then I
Yes,
noticed from the book you spoke from speaking with the clients is when you learn more empathy, more humanity. So it seems like everything about you was more kind of like sergeant in a way. You were sticking to the book, sticking to the script, but then when you engage with clients, it made you empathize on different levels. Turn your lawyer hat to a whole nother extreme in a way.
that's right.
So when you look back at your childhood in Ranger, what
Yeah.
would you say stands out to you the most, emotionally, not just professionally?
Yeah, childhood was fantastic. And like I said, I picked up the reading habit very early in my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I started with comics and then graduated to books. I have read most of the classics and famous authors. Only regret
Okay.
I was unable to complete the Encyclopedia Britannica, all the volumes.
Okay. Oh wow.
That was one of my goal, but I did not find the time and inclination to complete all the volumes. But in bits and
O-
pieces, I have referenced them and used them.
Okay. So was it like a to-go thing for you to just always read? You was just a major reader. It's just something you just kind of always did on the go.
Yeah, I'm a heavy reader. I think by and large, people reading as a hobby or it's no longer in vogue because
Yeah.
the mobile phone has caught on and OTT platforms are keeping the people busy. People have
Mm-hmm.
forgotten to read and enjoy the books. That is the whole problem.
Yes. Yes. That is indeed
And
true. And
and,
yeah.
and like I said, the feedback I get, most people are reading the book description and appreciating. They are not reading the book. That is the problem.
No regrets was one thing, but the book was more interesting. The more I learned about your story, it took me down a journey as if I was there, as if I was you. So that's what I enjoy about the book.
I'm glad that
Um,
the book resonated with you, and I'm glad you liked it also.
I've always wanted to be a lawyer. Originally, when I started out after I left high school, I wanted to go straight into law, but the college I was going to didn't have law. So then I just chose business. But I've always wanted to be a lawyer because I used to watch all the Law and Order shows on them. So I used to play also in school, we used to play debate. So we had debate classes. I loved playing prosecutor, defense. Now it was always hard trying to defend, but it was a journey. So reading yours really opened up the full experience behind being a lawyer. So do you think growing up with both privilege and responsibility gave you an advantage? Do you feel like it gave you an advantage, or did it just you feel like it had its own challenges?
So basically, I had an advantage in the sense that I come from a privileged family and I read a lot in my childhood, and we were financially very comfortable and things like that. So
Okay.
that was an advantage to me, and I put it to good use, I must say.
Your No Regrets book. As I was reading your book, I was really wondering how you process your day-to-day life after you found out that you were diagnosed with your diabetes. 'Cause I'm 28, so I can only imagine how that really stood out
Uh,
to me. I can only imagine how you did that.
it was very difficult, and I'm a big foodie. I love food, and being diagnosed with diabetes at 28 was a huge challenge. I had to cut down on sweets. I had to cut down on the intake of carbohydrates. There were so many dietary restrictions. Plus, I was obese also. So I managed to
Okay.
overcome those challenges, and I'm doing pretty well. And today I'm off most of the medication. I'm just on bare minimum medication, and with strict diet, I'm taking care of myself.
How were you able to focus on career wise? How were you able to focus in that lane of becoming the best lawyer that you can be? How did that hinder your mindset at the time?
Well, I had a passion for law, and law is a vast and a fascinating subject. So that
Uh-huh.
passion kept me going, and these health challenges I was able to overcome because mentally I'm very strong. Everything is in your mind. As long as you're mentally strong, you can overcome any physical challenges and move on with life.
Did you keep family around at the time, or was it something you had to navigate by yourself through?
I had to navigate myself entirely, and of course, with the help of my doctors and physicians who guided me and put me on the appropriate medication and things like that, I was able to do
Hmm.
fine.
Okay. You were able to still win cases, still take cases,
Yes, yes,
s-
yes, yes.
still focus like normal.
Correct, correct, correct.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, like I said, I'm 28, so I can only imagine how you persevered through such a challenge, especially when you're at the moment focusing on career, focusing on, taking advantage of all
Yeah.
the energy you got. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine. So
So
I commend
now,
you.
yeah, now after 30 plus years, I can say it is part of and way of life.
It truly is. Do you think that young people today are pushed into paths that I would say like science without really understanding themselves first?
Yeah, the problem with young people today is they are not physically active. They are leading a
Yeah.
sedentary life. So
Mm.
the technology has spoiled them. They are glued to their mobile screens or laptops or iPads and the TV screen. Physically, they don't walk, forget jogging and exercise. That so many young people are becoming obese and having heart attacks and things like that. So the
Mm-hmm.
reason for that is physically inactive. Active physically. Even today, I'm very active.
Okay. It's just it was like a natural thing that it was in your household to stay active, growing up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We come from a different generation. So when at that time the mobiles and things were not at prevalent, it came much
Mm.
later in the
Yeah.
90s. So today's generation is used to the technology right from day one. That is the problem.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think that's the hardest part. Even if you have a certain standard within your household that you want to set is when the once you leave the home, there's nothing but technology. Everything you do is technology. You know what I'm saying? So it would be hard to even try to navigate and balance the two. When you finally chose law, was it a clear calling for you, would you say, or do you kind of feel like it was something that you grew into over time?
I grew into it because, like I said, both my grandfathers were lawyer, my father was a lawyer. So it was natural that I take it up. Plus, in the science stream, I had done very badly in mathematics.
Yeah.
So I could not become a doctor or an engineer. So my natural transition was to become a lawyer.
I read that. It seemed like when I read the book that you wasn't really pushed into becoming a lawyer. When you once discovered that grandfather was a lawyer, one was a judge, and the
Yes,
other, so it's just like they had two different defenses of two different pathways of the law, but it doesn't seem like you were pushed into becoming a lawyer. So,
I was not pushed. It was my own choice.
okay.
I
Was
got
it,
inspired by them, you can say.
who would you say inspired you the most out of those two pathways?
The inspiration would come from my grandfather, who was the public prosecutor. I took
He was the
inspiration.
public one.
Yeah, I took
Okay.
inspiration from him. We also used to read a lot of books. We had a library at home. So I grew up reading those books.
Okay. What books were they? Were they all law books? What kind of books were they?
Law books were there, and plus a lot of English fiction novels by
Okay.
famous authors.
So it seems like it was just slowly just fell into you, something you just fell in love with as you started to see the love that they went through for it.
That's right.
D- Was the do you think the challenges were the same? Because I read in the book that you once stopped and asked your dad, you were like, "Hey, is law really like this? Being a lawyer really like this? Could he relate to the challenges that you were going through? Was it different? Was things switching up as you were coming in to becoming a lawyer and he was, still kind of exiting? How was the challenges? Did they compare?
See, the legal profession by itself is very demanding and challenging, and you have to be
Mm-hmm.
cut out for it. Not
Yeah.
everybody can gel into the profession. You
Yeah.
need to have a different physical and mental state of affairs to get into the groove of the legal profession. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
easy for everybody. The
Yeah.
most difficult professions also.
Yeah.
It is in any case not a walk in the park.
Yeah. How often do you sleep with a profession like that?
I sleep
You do.
maybe 6 hours a day.
Okay. So did you have to learn to balance like that, or did it start off having a reasonable schedule, or was it, because it
So,
seems like from the book it starts off
it
hectic.
always used to be a tight schedule where I work for 14 hours a day and things like that. And it's brutal hard work. There's nothing
Yeah.
easy. Running from court, attending the meetings, traveling, meeting the clients, discussing with them, negotiating, the entire gamut of functions involved.
I read that some of your colleagues would work like 70 hours,
Yes,
and that would be nothing to
nothing.
them.
70 hours is a cakewalk. Sometimes we work 90 hours also.
Oh wow. Yeah. That's not nothing. That's a lot.
The clients you are servicing,
Okay.
they expect you to be a 24 bar 7, 365 days a year lawyer. You have to be available at their beck and call.
Yeah, that's kind of what I picked up from the book. Yeah,
Otherwise,
it was you have to be always on call.
yes, otherwise the client will feel what lawyer I have hired is not available, he is not answering my call, he is not responding to my mail, he is not acknowledging my messages. So you have to be
Oh
on your
wow.
toes all the time.
Very demanding. Oh
Very,
wow.
very,
Yeah.
very demanding physically and mentally. And but at the same time, once you get into the groove, you'll start enjoying it.
That doesn't get exhausting, realistically speaking.
Yes, yes, yes. See, at the end
Okay.
of the day, once you enjoy your work, that's it. Everything
Hmm.
falls in place.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that. I would enjoy that, but that would be a lot. But Beck and call every yeah. Did they don't even teach you that in law school, right? That's something you learn when you're in the field that you're on.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Important point. The money is very good.
And I was about to say that I can only imagine if you're taking up on a lot of stress, then I'm going to hope that the pay is immaculate. Yes.
Yes, yes, it is fantastic, no doubt about it.
The part that really caught my attention is when you said that those books changed how you saw white collar crime when you were reading different types of books and switching over to different genres.
Yeah.
What actually shifted for you?
Nothing, the preferences and tastes keep changing and evolving over time. So it is just a matter of time that I would have adapted to something new.
Hmm. Was it challenging to try to adapt to something new?
Yes, definitely each new assignment is challenging and novel in its own way.
What would you say was your I guess say your best negotiation you've done?
All my negotiations have been very good. The best
Hmm.
negotiations I've done is in the Mumbai real estate project.
Okay.
In Indian rupees, it translates to 250 crores, which is substantial.
Okay.
So that negotiation took me totally 6 months. Six
6 months.
months. 6 months for it to conclude and sign off.
6 months for people
6 months
to.
I worked on one single project worth 250 crores.
Oh, goodness gracious. 6 months. Oh, wow. I liked your perspective. You broke it down to me in a great way, your perspective of negotiations. You said basically when it comes to negotiations, you want to walk away like you kind of want to walk away neutral. You want to make sure every party is happy, you know,
That's right.
when you're
And
negotiating.
yeah, and the trick of negotiation is patience and time.
Yes. Yeah.
It is not going to conclude in 1 day or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Certain transaction, like I gave an example, it takes 6 months. 6 months of patience and time you need to have, things will fall in place.
Yeah.
If you rush it up, then it will fall through. It will not go through.
Well, could you honestly say that maybe some deals are best finished early versus prolonging them and taking more time? Or would you say all deals should be taken cautiously, slowly?
Yes, all deals have to be taken cautiously and give it the time to become fruitful. You cannot rush
Yeah.
into things.
Yeah.
And even the other side, mostly they also know that initial 3 or 4 rounds of meeting will be preliminary discussion only. The core issues will never be discussed. After
So,
the preliminary meetings of 4 or 5 meetings, only then the core issues come into the picture.
okay.
Till then, the parties are just gauging themselves and ascertaining and getting to know each other. Fifth or sixth round, only then you get the comfort level to come and discuss the core issue.
So, in that process could typically take 6 months. Is that the longest you've ever
Uh,
negotiated?
yes, it takes 6 months because it was a big ticket item. Like I said, 250 crores. It needs that much time because there are a dozen people involved in the discussion and decision making process. Uh,
Has there ever been a deal that made you just want to walk away because they just couldn't come to a resolution?
Yes, several. Some people's demands were so unreasonable that we felt that there is no point in discussing further and we walked away. It happens.
Yeah. Do you try to be patient before you get to that moment, or do you just know based off how each party is responding?
Yeah, we get the sense in the first few initial meetings only that what stand they are taking and from where they are coming from, and we'll evaluate and take a call immediately.
Okay. Okay. So it's like you guys try not to prolong any extra questions and any extra time because that's billable hours in a way. right? If you're just, prolonging the process.
Yeah, billable hours because these large big ticket items we charge by the project, not by the
Mm-hmm.
hours, because we know
Okay.
it is going to take huge amount of time.
Hmm.
Billable
Okay.
hour comes into the picture when it is a simple isolated transaction which involves couple of hours work. Based on the project, we bill.
Okay. Based on a project.
Yeah.
Okay. So each project comes different. The title No Regrets. Do you truly feel that way, or is it more about accepting your journey?
I truly feel about it that also accept the journey as is.
Okay. It seemed like a pretty roller coaster journey that you had to finally land where you are, you know?
Correct.
Um Emotionally, logically, it feels like there was a lot. That financial calculation was probably my favorite. I kid you not.
Yes.
You shared those. What of those habits actually cost over time was actually shocking the most to me. Like seeing that it was 150 per day, learning that it was, 40 years. That was the shocking part to me. Did it hit you more emotionally or logically?
Like I said, uh, one, it is a demanding profession, plus it is
Hmm.
stressful. And you need some avenue to ease the
Yeah,
stress.
yeah.
So, those two habits were part of my work life, I would
Hmm.
say,
Hmm.
without which I would not have become the lawyer what I am today.
Yeah. So by the time you realized how much you spent, you just were at peace with it. It sounds like.
I made peace with it at the end of the day. Like I said, it is a stressful profession. You need some avenues to take out the
I
stress
get it.
because all the clients come with their set of headaches and put it on to
Yeah.
you, and you are
Yeah.
expected to solve them and attend to them.
Yeah, I understand that. I came from working with the government in the US, so I know exactly what it's like to have a demanding situation for you to give resolution, and for for the information you provide has to be accurate. So I know everything has to be on point, so I get it. It can be very stressful. I just was very surprised that you actually took the time to do those calculations. It even made me stop and think. you know, that part made me, yeah, it made me and my partner stop and think about our our situations and stuff we have. And so we were like, okay, we could be saving. We can be putting 14% up. Okay. Oh wow. All right. See, I'm glad he shared his experience. He's truly been authentic there. So I thought that was nice.
More importantly, you have to experience the good things and the bad things in life. So, otherwise, what is
Yeah.
the point of having a boring and mundane life?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well,
experience everything, experience life in all its glory. It may be good,
yeah.
bad, ugly, doesn't matter. You have to go through the entire process.
Yeah, take the risk.
Take
I
the
get
risk.
it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I get that. How do you personally define a meaningful life today, with that being said?
Well, my life would, I would say, has been very meaningful, very fulfilling, very exciting, very compelling. I have lived life to the hilt. I have enjoyed the good things, the bad things, and the ugly things. And I would say it's a complete life.
Okay. So it's something that you are well proud of. Is there truly anything that you would go back and give your younger self advice before you gotten here if you could?
No, I would say I would do all the things again, given a
Yeah.
chance. I will repeat my
Okay.
entire life again.
No regret.
No, no
Okay.
regret, no course correction. I will do it again.
Okay. No course correction. When you talked about your age 28 and stepping into your career path and focusing on your career path. I
Yes.
want to know at that age, a lot of people tie their identity to academic success. So I want to know, how did you rebuild your confidence after going through that major diagnose, trying to get back to that lawyer mindset of this is what I want to do, this is what I'm going to be, how did you rebuild that confidence?
Yes. Like I said, one, you have to be mentally strong.
Hmm.
Once you're strong in the mind, you can achieve anything, you can do whatever, nothing prevents you or stops you. Once you are mentally strong, your physical things also improve and you can take up the physical challenges also.
So for someone that is mentally struggling today, what advice would you give them?
Tell them to be mentally strong and have the requisite willpower to succeed in life and work
Hmm.
hard. There is no
Yeah.
shortcut. You have to work hard. There is no shortcut.
Try to persevere through it. At the end of the day, you life has ups and downs. So if you can take a loss, you can take a win. If you can take a win, you can take a loss.
That's right.
Yeah, so I picked that up from your book. I feel like you really try to show the pros and cons of life. You know,
That's correct.
the background behind law seems very intense, even more intense when you're actually in that courtroom, when you're preparing for when you're briefing and preparing for negotiations with the clients. It seems very intense. So
That's
having
correct.
that having that strong mentality, I can see it brings a lot of, I'm going to say it brings a lot of confidence to the front. It shows that you can actually persevere through anything. If you can get through those intense moments through briefing, helping clients negotiate, and being patient, like you said, it may take 6 months. These situations typically don't happen in 2 to 3 days.
That's correct.
Not within 2 to 3 hours. So it sounds like that you gotta. This is a job that you have to be very intelligent, very patient. Willing to do the homework. So that's what I picked up when I read about litigation. I think it was like litigation and non-litigation.
That's true.
Um, what which one did you prefer? Which one was the best for you?
I prefer non-litigation,
Okay.
which
Why
is
would you prefer that?
basically negotiating contracts, helping the business of the organization, being part of the business growth of the organization. Litigation is basically two parties fighting in the court, which goes on forever. I did that initially, but later on I
The
switched over to the corporate side and I was involved in the other industries.
which one did you prefer
I prefer
if you had
non-litigation
to pick?
corporate only.
Okay. Okay. Corporate only. Is less stressful, less intense?
No, no, both are, there is no less stress. Both are stressful
Okay.
jobs,
Okay.
but both are different. One is you are practicing in the court, appearing before a judge. Here you are practicing in-house, catering to the different verticals of the organization,
Hmm.
handling the business contracts, handling the vendors, customers, and the employees of the organization, and the different set of issues altogether.
Hmm. One seems like it's more you doing a lot of the handwork, and then the other seems like it's more of a team. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. When I was reading the definition there, it seems like the non-litigation gave you more of a team effort, so less stress in a way, you know. But maybe you say to no, it's still stressful, but it's just more
It is
people.
stressful. There is a lawyer's job is there is you cannot say there is no stress involved. All the time stress is involved
Okay.
because you are handling complex legal issues.
Would you prefer more autonomy or less freedom
I would
in
prefer
this?
more autonomy.
Was that an easy pick for you, or did you feel like you needed to go through litigation first before you went to non-litigation?
No, no, fresh out of law school, it is mandatory that you do the litigation part because that is your foundation years.
Okay.
You learn the fundamentals. But I
Okay.
felt comfortable in the corporate space as compared to the litigation space.
Okay. So the more experience you gain and the more experience that you have,
Yeah.
does things not get easier?
No, it becomes
The
more difficult because you are
it,
handling
can-
more complex problems than what you were handling earlier.
it becomes more complex, more
Yes,
difficult.
yes.
Okay.
If you have 5 years of experience after law school, you are handling certain set of matters.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have 10 years, you graduate to a complex and better set of matters.
Mm-hmm.
And once you complete 20 years, you are handling a different set of matters altogether. People come to you because you are experienced. Once they know you have only 5 years of experience, they'll give you elementary work only. They'll not give the challenging work to you.
Okay.
So it is like similar. A lawyer's profession is similar to a doctor's profession. Initially, a doctor will prescribe the medication for whatever ailments you have. And
Mm-hmm.
as he graduates, he will start doing surgeries to the patients.
Hmm.
And once he gains the requisite number of experience, then he will start handling complex surgeries, not the routine surgeries.
Hmm.
So the same thing is a lawyer's role also. He will start handling complex cases as he grows along. The amount of stress increases proportionately.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh goodness. Do you take do you take on multiple corporate deals at once, or do you just try to do one at a time?
One at a time. Suppose I join a media company.
Okay.
I'll be exclusive in-house counsel for the media company
Okay.
for the next 2 years or 3 years till I switch my job.
Okay.
And that's how it works.
Do you pick your own schedule when you're doing that? Do you decide, hey, okay, I'll stay here for a year, I'll stay here for 2 years, or do you kind of let them decide and then you just say yay or yes to it? You just
No,
agree to
I
it?
go along. I go along each day and each moment at a time. I don't decide anything in advance. If it's in my comfort zone, I will continue. The day I start getting bored or the work becomes routine, then I would like to change over. That's how it works.
Okay. Okay. Does that happen pretty often where you find yourself just feeling like a squirrel, getting bored in the same?
It's fine. I just have to change the industries to get the knowledge of that particular industry and business. So otherwise, I'm
Yeah.
fine. I've covered by and large half a dozen industries. 35-year long career, so at least half a dozen is good enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 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 that's true. 35 years is a long time. I commend you for that. I don't think I can ever do 35 years. Basically, almost everything that you loved and you described what you loved in the book about law, you loved researching, you loved going back and pulling out those points, those key points to help your case. So it was, yeah, that's the same thing that I loved about the law part. Now, what I was always nervous about when it came to becoming a lawyer is exactly what you mentioned. What you were learning at school was completely different what you experienced when you were actually in the court, when you were actually preparing the negotiations. So I thought that it was quite a thing that you were able to persevere through those moments because I think that's what stopped me from becoming a lawyer, actually. That process, would you say it's not really fit for the weak? You know, trying to get through law school, trying to navigate cases, trying to provide for yourself through law school.
Yes. If you are weak-hearted, you are not passionate about law, if you're not mentally strong, please don't take it up.
So
Passionate about law, you know what you are getting into, you are prepared to work very hard, you're mentally and physically strong, then you take it up.
law requires both strength and empathy. So in reality, what would you say is the hardest one to hold on to?
I feel empathy.
Empathy. Why would you say empathy?
because you need to understand the client's mindset and service him suitably and with empathy
Hmm. Okay.
and address his problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it something that have you ever caught yourself not being able to empathize and you needed to maybe come back another day?
I've been successful by and large, so I have not come across any such instance where the client was not happy with me. See, once you're a lawyer, you have to go through the entire gamut of emotions, empathy, understanding, patience, hardworking, commitment. All those things have to be there. All these qualities have to be inbuilt in a lawyer. Otherwise, you're not going to succeed.
The thing is, that's the last thing I would think a lawyer is empathetic. I think
Yes.
I would think that they're, focused on getting their case won or getting to a solution, but empathy, I would think, just being a civilian, I would think that empathy on the outside is just something that a lawyer just doesn't have.
No, no. A lawyer has all the qualities.
Yeah.
And of course, he will be empathetic because he will be expecting the fees from the client.
Yeah.
So the entire gamut of emotions will be available and he will service the client accordingly.
Okay. So they'll do their best, but they are
Yes,
sticking
yes,
to,
yes,
they're very, yeah, you seem very strict, very firm, you know,
correct, correct.
very direct. As a lawyer, you have to be very direct.
That's true. You cannot beat
Okay.
around the bush. You have to be to the point.
Yeah. From your experience, what really separates an average lawyer from a great one?
Work, hard work.
Hard work.
Average lawyer does not work hard. So he will
Okay.
remain mediocre, he will remain average. A
Hmm.
successful lawyer works very, very hard.
What does hard work look like to you, though? How do you define hard work?
Reading the case, researching the subject,
Okay.
understanding the intricacies involved, coming out with a solution,
Hmm.
proactively thinking and working towards a favorable solution to the client. There are so many
Okay.
aspects. There are so many aspects to it. And
Yeah.
and you need to burn the midnight oil. All this will not work for a couple of hours. You have
Yeah.
to sit late night, research, read, put in your best effort, and continue
Hmm.
to do day in and out every day. A mediocre and average lawyer will not do that every day. That is the problem.
Okay. Hmm.
He will just brush up the file for 2 hours and do a quick fix job, which will
Hmm.
not bring the desired outcome.
Mm. So do you think that's what nowadays, that's what is lacking, the extra research, the actual hard work that goes into making sure that things are what they say they are?
Correct.
For me, I want to ask you one last question. What advice would you give to someone successful on paper but unfulfilled inside?
Just keep working day in and out. Continue to work hard
Okay.
and do your best and be motivated mentally and be strong physically. It is a very demanding profession. It is very challenging profession. And at the end of the day, it is an honorable profession. And you are meant to serve the society. That is your primary responsibility. And if you are doing all of this, money will follow. Don't
Mm.
even think or worry about money. Just keep doing your work, money will flow.
Yeah, I think that's what we get stuck into nowadays. It's just how do we make a quick buck? It's not actually putting in the work, the putting the true ambition behind the art, what it is that we're trying to do. Even as a lawyer, thinking, okay, how do I win this case to, pay this bill versus how do I go back, tackle the points that I missed, focus on those points that I missed, you know, maybe even ask questions, not being afraid to ask questions, not thinking I know it all, so I can see that being a dilemma nowadays in our society.
There is no quick buck. in this world, you have to work hard to it. Only then you
Mm.
will get the buck. There's no shortcut.
Yeah, yeah.
If it was easy to make a quick buck, everybody will be doing that. It's not easy.
If it was,
You
yeah,
have
if
to
that
work
easy,
hard
everybody
to
would
earn
have
your
it.
money. That there's
Yeah.
no shortcut to it.
If it was that easy, everybody would have it.
That's true.
Yeah. A 35 years lawyer that has been in and out of the courtroom into corporations, went to school, had grandfather to father law experience in life, went through diagnosis at 28, but still persevered and chose to say that law is what I choose. He didn't choose me, I chose it. No Regrets, A Journey of Life and Law by you, Mr. Patel, I think is impeccable. It was a lovely read, and I do thank you for letting me have an interview with you.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you liked the book. And
Yeah.
it was good to have a meaningful conversation discussing our book. Like I said, mine is a true story and a compelling story, and that is why I found it worth my time to write it and publish the book.
So I think this is a nice accomplishment. Well done.
Thank you very much.